My sister Lisa lost custody of her own kids, but her obsession with my daughter took a darker turn. One day she kidnapped my daughter and took her to Disneyland, claiming we were too busy to take her. I had her arrested, and now my mom is threatening to disown me. Lisa has always struggled. She has 28 battling addiction since high school, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and experimenting with drugs and marijuana. I remember watching her slip through her senior year, coming home bloodshot-tired late at night, vacant, then dropping out and never graduating. She bounced between jobs, mostly waiting tables at bars, often calling me in tears after losing yet another gig for being late or hungover. Our parents constantly bailed her out financially, and the house was tense from her empty promises to get clean, only to disappear for weeks. That's where she met Jake, her ex-husband, 6 years ago. At a bar she worked at, he seemed different, encouraging her to sober up, even supporting her treatment. For a while she stayed sober, showed up to family dinners, and even married Jake. They had 2 kids, Emma and Tyler, and for a few years it felt like she was finally turning a corner. But everything unraveled after Dad's sudden death last year. Lisa fell apart, isolating herself, making reckless choices, neglecting her children. She left Emma and Tyler with me often, claiming she needed me time, but sometimes she'd show up disheveled, smelling of alcohol or worse. 8 months ago, she left the kids with me for a weekend without even checking in. When Jake picked them up, he was furious she was missing. High, disoriented in a park at 2 a.m. we tried to get her help. She refused. Then we discovered she was having an affair with her drug dealer. Jake filed for divorce, and the custody battle was brutal. The kids, exhausted by her instability, refused to see her 6 months ago. The court awarded Jake full custody. Lisa only got supervised visits, which she barely attended. Her obsession with my daughter started soon after. She began showing up daily, uninvited, fixating on Sophie in unsettling ways. She'd bring her ice cream daily, undermine our rules, and make toxic comments like Sophie doesn't need to study, she's pretty enough for someone to take care of her. When I confronted her about this, she dismissed my concerns, even joking about moving in as Sophie's nanny. I had to tell her to back off. Then came Sophie's 11th birthday. We planned a trip to Disneyland, which we've talked about for months. Lisa insisted she wanted to come, offering to plan everything if we paid. I thought it might be good for her, so I agreed. But the day we were supposed to leave, she didn't return with Sophie after school. I called, texted, no answer. Hours passed and I panicked. When David came home, he saw my distress and rushed to help. We called the police. They found Lisa's car after a frantic search. She fought arrest, resisting physically, and was taken into custody. Sophie was confused and upset, told Lisa had lied that she was saving her birthday, that we were too busy. I was shattered. Lisa faced charges, kidnapping and resisting arrest. My mom had known about the Disneyland trip all along, but kept it secret, claiming she thought it would help Lisa feel better. That betrayal hit hard. I called 911, and the police confirmed Lisa had been planning this for weeks, crossing state lines, lying about our permission, fighting officers. Lisa ended up sentenced to 3 years in prison, plus 6 months for resisting arrest. A restraining order now bans her from contacting Sophie or coming within 500 feet of our home or workplace. My mom's continued efforts to defend Lisa, insisting she's mentally ill, that this was a gesture of love, only deepened my anger. She blames me for not supporting Lisa enough, even says I should have dropped the charges, but I know better. Lisa's actions weren't impulsive. They were calculated, manipulative, reckless, dangerous. My extended family has mostly supported me, seeing that crossing family boundaries to enable her was wrong. I've filed for restraining orders against both Lisa and my mom, which are in place for 4 years. Things worsened when my mom showed up unannounced, intoxicated, screaming at us in front of Sophie. She accused us of ruining Lisa's life, called me heartless, and even directed her anger at Sophie, telling her her parents were mean and that Lisa was a victim. Sophie was terrified, crying, confused. I told her to go to her room, but the trauma was evident. My mom accused David and me of abandoning Lisa, blaming us for her downfall, and even suggested I'd be to blame if Lisa When I pushed back, she threatened to cut us off entirely if I didn't drop the charges now. We're installing security cameras. I refuse to let anyone threaten our safety or manipulate us again. David and I are in counseling, trying to process this nightmare. Our priority is protecting Sophie from Lisa, from my mom, from anyone who might harm her. Family loyalty isn't worth risking her well-being. 3 months later, the court's final ruling came. Lisa was sentenced to 3 years for kidnapping and 6 months for resisting arrest. The judge noted her lack of remorse and her pattern of manipulation. My restraining orders against Lisa and my mom are in place, and Sophie is finally feeling safe, knowing those threats are gone. David's back at work, and we're rebuilding our sense of security. This ordeal has been devastating, but I stand firm. My daughter's safety comes first, no matter what family says or does.